Oh, there we go. I got a little extra time this afternoon. I thought I'd pull a cure for cancer. I noticed I haven't pulled one in a while. I'm trying to do more of these, right? I'm trying to do at least one or two of these a month. Well, what? Let's be real. Maybe one. Um, but I don't know. Let's cut the deck. Let's get a theme energy for this cure for cancer read, which of course is an all signs read. I'm just taking the temperature of the soulmate cycle from the theme energies perspective, right? A little bit. Cure for Cancer is more of a cheeky name than it is a cancer reading per se. Knight of Cups. I'm going to use the witches for this, by the way. Normally I use the little lights here, but this time around for the Cure for Cancer, we're going to use the witches. Again, we can't seem to avoid disappointment. And I just reset all of these decks the other day, where you take it, you explode the deck and put it back together. Oh, disappointment. Why? Why does that keep coming up? What the hell's going on here? All right, let's shuffle the deck. I think somebody's ashamed of themselves. I think somebody attached to you, a soulmate, is it? And that might be a strong way to phrase it. I might be going overboard there. Oh, Steve, calm the fuck down. I get you. But I got to find some way to phrase it for thousands of people watching. So it feels like somebody's disappointed in themselves. I've said this before, in their minds, the DMs in this cycle are those Knight of Cups, right? But when it comes down to actually doing it, these are people, the DMs in this cycle, or the DMs out in the world, it doesn't really, outside the cycle, it doesn't matter. They're people that talk a good game but don't follow through. They do it all the time. Blame shift, make up stories, I don't know. Excuse machines, all these phrases I've used. Burger King's got to have it their way. So let's take a look at what we got here. Let's see why I'm here. It's a general reading. It may or may not resonate with you, but if the title brought you in here or you found Steve Love Cherry, you're here for a reason. This reading is timeless. Right? I'm not a fucking time lord. There's a whole playlist of these. Sometimes I date them, and sometimes I don't. Right? All right? It's like girls. Same thing. Sometimes I date them, sometimes I don't. But... we do this reading a little bit different. We pull 5 cards from the bottom. It's the environmental energy. It's the energetic air somebody's living in. Somebody attached to you. I got an energy here. I don't know what it is. Could be their dog. I have no idea. But I've got an energy here. The bottom of the deck has the environmental energy around them, the room they're in. We pull 4 cards from the top, which is how they behave, how they're behaving within that energy. Now, hopefully you go with the energy. Hopefully this teaches you something about how energy works, right? Because we see a lot of times the people, the DMs in this cycle, the runners, if you will, in this cycle, working against the energy. The room is cold and they're wearing shorts, the kind of a thing like that. I mean, it's amazing how much common sense people have on simple things, but when it gets more complicated, the common sense seems to go away. It's the same. I mean, it's just that you want to behave, you want to flow with the energy. Bottom of the deck, environmental energy around this person. Ace of Swords, the Hermit, the Emperor, 5 cards from the bottom. High Priestess, 5 of Cups, and I'll show you the 6th card because you can see it anyway as I pull these. I'm going to make sure these are on camera. The Magician. It's not really part of it, but it kind of is. Some of the energy bleeds in here. This is someone who, it may or may not be, the energy around this person is making them think that they're in control and they're right. Okay? The energy, the air that they're breathing is one of, or it's somebody who is controlled. One or the other. Okay? I've got down the middle here, I've got my control emperor. I've got someone sitting on the throne. You might also have somebody that bosses this person around. Right? That might be something that annoys you about this person, that they listen too much to a certain individual. That's possible too. You've got somebody here who also, I want to say, it might be a bit harsh, but they believe their own lies. The energy is conducive to it. Even though they get left out in the cold when they believe them, right? They still believe them. They put their faith in the wrong things. Well, It's not their fault. The environment they're living in is very controlled. They almost have a, I don't want to say they have a jailer. That's a bit harsh, but it's a good way to describe it. Let's see how they're behaving in this energy. Yeah, the Ten of Wands, they're actually doing okay. I would say it'd be a little stressful. I was going to say that. I'd be surprised if I got the Sun there. You'd be like, what the fuck? All right, here we go. The Hangman. Yeah, they're doing it right. If this was cold, they'd be wearing a jacket. Okay, they're doing okay. All right, what's crossing the Hangman? The Knight of Wands. Somebody wants out, but they can't. Somebody wants to change, but they can't. Or at least they are led to believe that they can't. Okay. And what's the final outcome? It bookends the Ten of Wands, which is encouraging in that it's a 10, which is an end. It's the end, dead end. It leads to a new beginning. Victory. Well, let's clarify, shall we? Let's clarify the Ten of Wands. I'll read them as I go. I'm going to use the little lights here, which I would normally use for this reading, to do the clarifying. All right, let's see where we go. Somebody feels like the world is heavy on their shoulders. Yeah, you can see that in the picture, but it's more than that. This is one of those instances of the Ten of Wands where I read that he's wearing the same outfit as the Hierophant in this deck, right? This is somebody's belief system is being tested right now, a little bit. Or somebody they put faith in is letting them down and they're starting to realize that, but they're kind of stuck with it. I mean, I'm not really sure how else to read it. I've got somebody here, the environment around them is very controlled. It's artificial, you know? All right. I don't have anything. I wish I had like a Queen of Pentacles here or some, where she's sitting out in the woods in a robe and all that. I don't have any of that. You talk about artificial, look at this picture. Right? Here's this guy in a suit of armor with all this junk from inside sitting outside. Right? I mean, it's... Why is the Ten of Wands here? Let's just pull it on. Let's see where we go. It's enough riffing on the Ten of... Yeah. It's caused by the Seven of Swords. This person would love to escape. It's coming out everywhere. They want to escape. This is crossing the Hangman. But the environmental energy is like, yeah, let's go. But they don't. Why? I don't know. It's that's weird. The big lie. It's someone who has to admit they got life wrong, right? They have to admit it. They're realizing that they got everything wrong, that they did it wrong. If they're married, they made the wrong choice. Running from you was the wrong thing. Telling you to fuck off was the wrong thing. I mean, but it's tough. It's tough for this person. It's very hard. What's on top? They close, though. I mean, I see the victory at the end here. Spoiler alert, but 10 Pentacles, their life. Why is this here? What is this talking about? Their life. But I feel like it's a crisis of faith more than anything else. Because I'm drawn to the Hierophant aspect of that. Which, again, the Hierophant can sometimes represent marriage. Somebody's married. If you get a Hierophant in a Four of Wands, they probably are, in this respect here. Why is that here? The Hangman. And that's the Hangman. So, yeah, again, and the Hangman segues into the Hangman. They're stuck. They made the wrong choice. They know they did, so they're stuck. This is most people. They've made the wrong choice. They're stuck. They know they're stuck with it. So they lie to themselves and say, this is exactly what I wanted. It's perfect. Right? I'll tell you. All right. Okay. Hangman. Why is it here? Again, the Nine of Pentacles came back. I bet that Seven of Swords rolled in too. No, it's the Strength card. I was wrong. Wow. It moved. Okay. Well, then what comes after the Strength card? The Sun. So, yeah. Okay. No, this is what I want. This is it. This is terrific. This is great. You know, somebody's putting out a lot of that, but they secretly want out. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if it's secretly. Let's see where we go. Your energy is tied to this. So let's pull on this. I could almost say, what are they feeling about my viewers with this Knight of Wands? Let's see. It's crossed by the Two of Wands. This person right now is making plans to step away from the bullshit, step away from this. I don't even want to say I don't know if they can. I bet they can. I bet they can do this. They're making plans, at least, in the planning stage. I don't think they're very good plans with the clouds around his head. But anyway, we'll see. Well, spoiler alert, we end with victory, so that's good. The Four of Swords. Why is that here? The Emperor. Yeah. It's someone who's making plans and they can't come up with a way. Why do I say that? Right? Because this is a void energy. It's nothing. It sometimes means healing. It sometimes talks about the heart chakra. It sometimes talks about the brain shutting down and the soul taking over. It can also be a void. It can also mean nothing, right? This Emperor here. There's someone attached to your person. I think it's a someone. It could be a situation. It could be a dog, but it could. I think it's someone who's having none of going toward you, who's having none of them getting out of this, who's having none of them changing the routine. I think that's why this came out here. I didn't get the Seven of Swords again. That was interesting, but I did get the Nine of Cups. Somebody's putting on a good show here. That's for sure. And I think that's where our magician, the sixth card, sort of rolls in. Somebody's putting on a good show here. Okay. What's the bridge there? Where is it? Yeah. The Death card. Yeah. Somebody wants to make a change and you're it. You're the change they want to make. But this Emperor on their side is having none of it. They know they're not going to. I'm telling you, they're not going to do it. Or maybe they will. I don't know. Let's go. Six of Wands. Why did I get victory then? I'm just telling you what I feel. I feel like they won't based on this energy, but our final outcome is victory. Six of Wands. Victory after a long battle energy. So there might be a battle on their side. When I get that specific energy of the Six of Wands, there might be a battle on this person's side. Now, if you're watching and you're going, well, my person's gone, I just watch you, Steve, because you're entertaining all that stuff. Great. Well, that's terrific. But this can also be about a job situation for you. There could be people who want you to work there and other people that don't. And there's bickering going on behind the scenes about you. A battle going on. Right? You may come out the victor here. I don't know. I have no idea. It could play out a thousand different ways, the same frequencies of energy. I'm reading it as a love soulmate reading because it's Steve Love Tarot, not Steve Career Tarot. This could be a career reading too. I've got 10 Pentacles here. I've got everything I need for it. I've even got the asshole boss, right? I mean, it's all here. It's all here. Is somebody getting fired or who should be fired? I mean, it's all over the place. Victory here. So, but for most of you, this is a runner soulmate who is oppressed on some level. They're stuck. They're stuck with the decisions they've made. Let's see where we go. Six of Wands. Victory after a long battle. What's the final outcome on the... It's crossed by the Empress. Somehow, some way, you get a victory here. Something you've waited for, you get. What's on top? Wasn't I just talking about her? Didn't I say I wanted to see the girl, the Queen of Pentacles, with the sticks in the hair and the robe in the woods down here? It's right there. Wow. Why is that here? Called that one. I knew it had come out. Queen of Swords. What's the bridge? Seven of Pentacles. Something about an upcoming energy, an upcoming vibe. Do I want to call it a vibe? I don't know. I could do the old bit that a lot of readers do with this. It's a similar energy. Seeds that were planted a long time ago have begun to grow, something along those lines. I'm going to phrase it a little differently. You did something to this person. And I'm not talking dirty stuff. I'm sure you did. But you did something to this person. Something altered in their personality when they crossed paths with you. And let me clarify that. Let me take it a step further. While I say, I don't think they can keep this up too much longer. The energy is getting just right for them to come towards you. But if they show up, it feels to me like they're coming in for comfort, for comforting, possibly. All right? You might be inclined to rip their head off. I don't know. I'm not sure. Your energy was attached to both of these. They're coming at you because they feel you as the Queen of Pentacles, but they're showing and the Empress. But when they show up, you're this. Okay? So keep the sword in the sheath. I would. I feel like they're coming in for comforting. Let's see. We're pulling basically on the energy of the Seven Pentacles. Cross technically with the Empress and all of that. All right, let's go. The Lovers, the energy is just, it's unreal. Somebody, the Tower and Temperance, the Angel. Yeah, somebody's coming in looking for shelter, changing their life. Amnesty, looking for amnesty. It could be that, Well, you take me in. It's like you're the embassy and you're keeping them there safe, kind of a thing. I've got no other way to put it, but that's the way it's coming up. Proof of that, underneath the Lovers, which is the fueling energy here, is 3 swords. Kurt Cobain in pain. Somebody's in pain here, all right? And you're the one that they think can make it better. You're the one they think can save them. There's no other way to phrase it. I want to pull a little bit more on this. Whether it's an asshole boss. So it looks like if it is a work situation, you get somebody says, no, we're getting Steve's viewer in, right? They just go ahead and secretly fire this person without the Emperor knowing about it and sneak you in. Yeah, it's possible. Anything's possible. It could be project work. Who knows? But if it's a love situation, this person here comes up the loser, this Emperor. I'm going to pull a little bit more on this Emperor. Tell me about this Emperor. I'm curious. The reading's running short. I'll go ahead and make it a Steve's Love Tarot reading. Right? Ain't no need for short. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the Emperor in the room. The asshole. The oppressor. It's an oppressor energy. It's an energy that controls things. It's not coming up to represent the DM in a cycle. In other words, I know I got the Empress over here crossing. You're not the Emperor and the Empress. That's not how the energy is flowing. That's not why those cards came out. You're the Empress over here because of your empathy, because of you're giving them amnesty, you're helping them, you're making them feel better from that. Probably by doing that. Good for you, right? And it's pretty hot. That's some hot, ouch. Woo. Hot stuff. The Emperor is coming up to show the control, the environmental energy around this person is one of being controlled on some level, being stuck with what one has, unable to get up and go have fun over there, even if they wanted to. That's a heavy suit of armor. You're not playing football in that. I don't know. Let's see where we go here. Tell me about this Emperor energy and the environmental energy. Just tell me about it. I wonder how they get around the cock block here. I see that they do. I see they get around. This is kind of a cock block. This is, oh no, nothing's going to happen here, and they know it. But with the Death card here, somebody's willing to go all in on it, to double down on sneaking away, on breaking up. Something happens, I know, because of that. So Somebody broke up with somebody. Somebody told somebody to fuck off. I mean, on some level here. Whoops, I got to put the death card back. Oh, I got to put the death card back. Hold on. Let's pull. Okay, let's pull on this Emperor. It's crossed by the Page of Wands. Get organized, Steve. Pull your head out of your ass. Got it. This is a petty energy. It's petty. It uses guilt. It uses manipulation. It lies. It does everything a low vibrational type, DM type energy. This energy doesn't even feel like the energy that's around them. It feels like the people around your person here. They're very petty. They're very, I don't know. They manipulate through guilt a little bit. The same way you might manipulate a child here. There's strict orders, guilt, anything you might do to make a 12 or 13-year-old boy bend to your will, right? Parents watching, no. You know, but you have to with that. This person I'm pulling on here is a grown-up, right? What's on top? 9 swords. Why is that here? This is a paranoid energy. 3 of pentacles. Some sort of fear of being alone. Some sort of paranoia to a point. I mean, it's just, there's no other way to put it. It's a paranoid energy. It's afraid to be alone. It's afraid of losing whatever your person. I don't know if it's a family situation. I get that a lot, like with the Leo soap opera or a toxic marriage or something like that. It's not even so much, believe it or not, it's not even so much that it's toxic. I don't have a devil here. It's not that it's toxic. It's just how it is, right? Your person made a decision to stay somewhere, basically. This person made a decision, and while they realize it's a bad decision, they've decided to pretend that it's a good one. The problem is you fundamentally changed this person. For some reason, even whether or not it was even you changed their personality, you showed them there's something else. It's an easy way to put it. It made this energy it put this energy on high alert. The energy that controls this person went on high alert. And the bridge, here's the strength. So they doubled down on, again, the energy got bigger. They doubled down on their own control mechanism. Unbelievable. What in the hell? All right. What else you want to tell my people? Anything? Unbelievable. Jesus. Wow. So we use this reading to take sort of a temperature. Take the temperature of the soulmate cycle. The temperature of the soulmate cycle right now seems to be, if I had to sum it up, old tricks on the side of lying to oneself aren't working anymore. It's like your person this person, whoever I'm pulling on here, started living a con. And the problem with that is any con job starts out great, right? Any con job starts out just fine, but any con falls apart at some point, That's why the long con is really difficult. Short cons are nice and easy. Long cons are pretty tough. It's pretty tough to keep it up. Keep up the facade. This person's having trouble with that. If it's a job where they didn't hire qualified people. They hired all their friends and family. Right? They started a business. They hired all their friends and family. Their friends and family aren't qualified to do the thing. If you want to build a company, you need to bring in outside people that have expertise and know what they're doing. They might cost you a little more, but in the end, they help you build your company. Your Aunt Rachel or your Uncle Bob aren't going to help you with that. They don't know anything about it. They can barely work the coffee maker, but you felt like you should give them a job. It's that kind of a thing, and you just smile your way through it as debt piles up because nothing's selling. There's a lot of companies that do that. That's just an example of how this could be a company reading, right? What else the universe want to tell you? Well, I'll tell you what. Ten Pentacles keeps coming back. Crossed by the Three of Wands. Fueled by the Knight of Swords. There is a piece of, look, for you, just FYI, there is a piece of information making its way to you. It's a piece of information that you don't necessarily want to hear, but it's extremely useful to you. All right? It's extremely useful in bettering your life. All right? That's all I'm going to say. Well, it's okay. And the Seven of Wands. What did I say? I'm backing up my energy read. I don't think you want to hear it. You're defensive to this information that's coming in. For some of you, it may be very, very near future influence. There's something in your life that's repeating. It's something that's played out before. You might even say that to yourself. You might even say, I've seen this movie. Right? I mean, there's something from the past that's repeating again. You might be a little bit defensive to it. You might be a little bit worried about it. It might be something with this person, or this could be a completely separate message. I don't know. Whatever it is, this time it can turn out differently. This time you've got the tools to make it happen. You've got the ability. You've got the ability to move in a new direction. You've got the information to move in a new direction. And again, you might be defensive to that information, but it is possible. Whatever this is, whether it's about this person or something else, it's a final message to you. Take it for what it's worth to you. You may not figure out what's repeating in your life until this piece of information makes its way to you. Okay? You may not. I don't know. Either way, something's repeating. And again, you might be a little bit defensive to the information, but it is for the betterment of your life. It does something nice for you. Let me pull on the Ten of Pentacles. Why not? All right. A lot of you may feel that there's a lot of repeat cycles, old cycles that are returning. You know? From when? Well, it's going to vary for all of you. For a good number of you, they're from about 2013 to 2015 range, something in there. They never repeat exactly where they did before. For a lot of you, that's where it is. For some of you, it's the other big chunk of energy that's sort of repeating is like 2020. You know, you could think a lot of you might be able to think of this as January 2020. You know. Is what it is. Instead of 2026. You'll get a repeat year of that. But you might handle it a little better than you handled it last time. It's just saying the same thing. There's something coming back from the past that affects your life, and that you comes through a piece of information. And I'm just checking my read from another deck. I got the Six of Cups again. Right? It's a piece of information. I don't know. But it's very good. It's probably... For some of you, it's a separate issue, but it probably has to do with this person. It probably feels like, here we go again. This person's showing up. They show up. They leave. I get hurt. I get pissed. I'm like, why did I, whatever. They are showing up here. They're looking for you to comfort them. Right? The Ace of Swords. You got, with this information, right? With this new piece of information or wisdom you've gained over the years, we can look at it that way. You can handle whatever it is. The King of Wands. That's why I said here, the King of Wands. It's a king that makes you think anything is possible. In this context, it's an ego energy. You're fine. You've got everything. You've got all the biceps and muscles and lions you need to handle this without any problem whatsoever. The outcome this time will be different and will go in your favor. Okay? That's the best I can tell you. It might be a separate issue. It could be just a random final message for you, right? But it could also play out with this person, especially since I see them coming back and there's a Ten of Pentacles in this reading here, all right? Here we go again. They're showing up at my place, looking for me to use my Empress energy to help them, make them feel better, comfort their soul, right? I got it. Yeah. And they might take off again. I don't know. According to the energies here, things play out differently this time, whatever it is. And for some of you, it's both. This final read has to do with this person and something else from the past that's playing out. So, very interesting. All right. Well, that's your reading. That's where we're at. I'll see if I can We'll see what we can do. Wow. There's a lot going on in the soulmate cycle right now. It's very, very active. But it's also lightening up. There's a lot of energies that are sort of wiggling free and liberating themselves. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the coming weeks, especially as we move up to the ever important world point. In astrology, it's called the world point. It's happening in February. It's arguably the biggest astrological event of the year, I would say, in the last 5 years. It's pretty major. You can already, I mean, in the soulmate cycle, it's tough to predict, but out in the world, you can already see some things building up to it. I imagine it doesn't take much to go, oh shit, there's a world point coming too. Oh, fuck, right? It's probably a little of that. But at the end of the day here, for the soulmate cycle, it is a real turning point. Right? Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. But the build up to it should be something amazing because it involves Neptune. So it involves Neptune and Saturn. But January is all about Neptune and the Cancer full moon. Energy's bleeding out through, and the Neptune's impossible to escape as it ends its stay in Pisces and gets ready to move into Aries. So at the end of the month. That's your reading here. I hope it was helpful. Any information that makes its way to you, try not to be defensive to it. Just try to take it in. Try to be the Queen of Pentacles here in that case. She's just, whatever you want to tell her, it's fine. She's just sitting in the woods with a robe on and some sticks in her hair. She's fine. Okay. That's your reading. I hope it was helpful. Good luck.